Will Work for Patients, episode 35.
Decide that marketing campaign could work if you were promoting what you're really passionate about.
Hey there, Will Workers. Guess what? We've got another episode in the explicit lyrics category. Oh, I went there. Today, we're doing the premiere episode of From the Road, where I broadcast in the car and from the hip. And today, the subject is passion. So buckle up, grab onto something, because today's episode is entitled Passion is the Best Marketing Campaign. Episode 35. Here we go.
Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Will Work for Patients, a free advice podcast dedicated to help chiropractors get on purpose and grow their practices. Get ready to tune in and turn up the volume of your practice marketing. And now, turning up the volume on his mic, big-time chiropractic advocate and your host, here is Frank Sardella.
Hey, that's me, Frank Sardella, here with you with a premiere episode of From the Road. I decided I am going to do a mini-series within our podcast show here, and I am going to broadcast from the road. I have a lot of ideas when I'm driving. You'd be surprised how much work I get done, how much thought that goes into most of my projects happens in the car, commuting back and forth between New York City or wherever else in the country that I'm going. And I usually get inspired. And speaking of inspired, my first episode of From the Road is going to cover passion. I want to talk about passion. I want to talk about how I found that passion is missing from our chiropractic practice expansion model, practice growth, real practice growth. Where did it come from before, and where has it gone now? Why are practices not growing the way they used to be? And I've been noticing more and more in my coaching calls some X quality that's been missing. And we've been talking about social media. We've been talking about marketing strategy. We've been talking about talks and screenings and all these ways you can, quote, promote your practice. And what's been missing from them has been passion. And I finally realized it. I had a client who had a breakthrough with passion recently. And I've been going over with all of my clients to get back to basic, to go old school on your practice, to back off of marketing and promoting and all the things you're doing for a moment, just to take a look at what your basic purpose and passion have been and where they went, what they really are, and how to rekindle them, how to get them back, how to get it back to a level that is sufficient to get you to really grow your practice. That's the kind of passion we're going to talk about in today's episode. That's what I want to get fired up about. And that's what I was originally fired up about. I decided that I have a passion in this industry. I became a coach and a speaker and a writer because I had passion about this subject. Just like you had passion when you went to school. I want to help everybody get their passion translated into people under care so that they could be even more passionate about healing them. That's where real passion comes from.
Before we get into today's episode, I'd like to take a moment to give props to those who made this episode possible. If you listen to Will Work for Patients, you know that practice growth depends not only upon marketing, but upon understanding of ever-expanding digital marketing platforms. The internet has fast become the largest marketing platform on earth. Nowadays, everyone looks for everything on the internet, and in the majority, from their smartphone. Let's face it, referrals and word of mouth now include the internet. 1/3 of buyers choose the first on the list of search results, of which 9 out of 10 buyers won't go past page 1. People who are searching for what you do are the hottest new business leads, but with billions of web pages out there, how do you get found and get business? Enter numberononTheList.com. I can tell you that these guys know that search engine optimization and marketing help connect you with your target audience by optimizing your website and elevating your online presence. Web marketing only works when you are found. Is your website optimized for search? Let numberononTheList.com help you with a free website analysis today. Get found, get business. Visit numberononTheList.com. That's numberononTheList.com. Hey, Will Workers, do you find you are not getting the results you would like to get out of your talks? Are you uneasy about doing them? Have you given up? Even if you haven't, if you rely on talks and screenings as a feeder line for your practice, shouldn't you be the best at it you can possibly be? After 20 years of screening and lecturing to thousands and successfully getting them to arrive to chiropractic clinics, I realized that I had quite a bit of knowledge to pass along. And while a ton of it is found in my webinars, online courses, and coaching programs, the core knowledge is now available to you in Close Everyone, 9 Secrets to the Best Talk You Will Ever Give. I discuss the secrets of literally closing everyone and what it will take to do so. I have known about this for some time, and it's about time you knew it too, so I'm sharing it with you. Way more than an ebook you can download, read, absorb, and apply, this is a printable manual you can use for you and your staff to make them black belts as well. Let me tell you about what it takes to close everyone in nearly 200 pages and over 30,000 words, quotes, and basic principles. This is not just another method and script for doing talks. This is what you have wanted. It is a manual on how to get out of your own head and into the heads of those you wish to influence. After all, if you know what they're thinking, you will know exactly what to do and say to get them to respond to you. And isn't that what you want from your audience? Get your copy of Close Everyone today and get started on your quest to close everyone you meet, from talks and screenings too. Get it today and receive a discount in the amount of your purchase toward the Killer Talks webinar to follow the release. Get your copy today at chiropracticmarketingadvice.com/store/Killer Talks.
All this stuff you're putting on your social media, honestly, it's just, we're going to have to go explicit lyrics again on this episode. It's bullshit. I told a client that outright on the phone this morning. It's absolute bullshit. Not because we're not posting quality content, we are, but isn't representative of the doctor's true passion, or are we just trying to be social and polite and get people to buy our products? The way you get people to buy your products is to really be passionate about what that product is, and that starts with an inherent knowledge of what you're doing and a confidence that it really will help people. Maybe your passion isn't just in the generality we call chiropractic. Maybe your passion is within a smaller demographic than just people with health problems. Maybe there's something very, very specific. One of my clients I had on the phone this morning, man, we got on the subject of vaccines, and you should have seen him go off. He was a little antagonistic in tone, but at the same time, there was passion coming through. He was so passionate about this subject. He was just talking arbitrarily about having to enroll his little girl into school, and the whole thing that he was going through about not wanting to vaccinate his child. The first probably 15, 20 minutes of our coaching call was spent just on this subject, talking about the recent media that has been receiving the effects of vaccines, the likes of Robert De Niro, and the almost inclusion of Vaxxed, the movie, in the Tribeca Film Festival. And then the publicity coming out because it got booted because of money ties that were involved in the festival and so on, tracing all the way back to pharmaceuticals. You should have heard him talk on this subject. He's so passionate about it. And that's the kind of passion I'm talking about. It's time to start getting passionate. You want a best marketing campaign, a practice growth strategic tool. It's not going to come from me. I can give you the tools to get it out there, but the passion comes from you. My passion helps, but it has to connect up with yours. And so I want to pose the first question to you. I want to know, what are you passionate about? And I don't want to hear, oh yeah, well, I'm passionate about chiropractic. No. What is it that gets you fired up? What is it that's going to get you to jump out of bed at 5 a.m. and work on the weekends? What is it that is going to motivate you to really make an impact? Because that's where marketing kicks off. And that's the first question to ask yourself. And you should totally hit pause and sit down and figure that out right now. Now, the second thing I want to get into, and the second thing I brought up in this coaching call this morning, was that marketing itself, in its purest form, it does not work. What do I mean by that? Marketing is a way of positioning a product. And you can think of products. Too many of us think of this. We think of cereal. We think of marketing as the pictures on the cereal box in the aisle, and then the ad campaigns, the TV commercials, the magazine ads, the radio commercials for that particular product. But what is your product? You want to say, my product is, okay, you could even say improved health. But what kind of a product is that? Is that something people want? And is it something you desire to deliver? Yes, you do, but you really have to get into the details of it. And again, passion comes in with marketing. To me, marketing is nothing without passion. Marketing is a useless tool. It's a useless waste of money set of actions that you're just going to keep spending on in the hopes it's going to bring you patients. And marketing never brought anyone a single patient. I don't care who the patient was. I don't care what example that you throw at me. That person came in because of some tiny ember of passion that came through your message. That's the only reason people show up in your office. I want you to look at every marketing campaign you've done. Here's another moment where you pause the podcast and go and check it out. List out every marketing campaign you've done, every promotional thing that you've spent money on, and look at it. And I want you to find what's missing, especially the failed marketing campaigns, the ones you really considered were bombs. I want you to look at what was missing. Find the missing passion component, and I want you to get fired up about that passion point. And then look at that marketing campaign again and decide for yourself at once that that marketing campaign could work if you were promoting what you're really passionate about. So there's your first two exercises. The number 3 thing that I want to get into is something that really bugs you guys, because it is the single biggest complaint that I get, and is the essence of what I do. People call me a screening expert. They call me a talks expert. They call me a marketing expert. But what am I really expert in but bringing out your passion and then having clever ways of promoting that passion? And on top of that, my job is not to get you new patients, because that's not what marketing does. So here's a category that really pisses you off, and I know, because you know I say it in almost every episode. I listen to every word you say when you talk to me. I listen. I've seen the trends, I've felt the pain, and I know what it is. And I'm going to give you right now what that problem is. It is no-shows. And I want to talk to you about no-shows right now and how passion relates to no-shows. Marketing is nothing without passion, as we've already covered. But marketing is something else. Marketing does not, I want you to get that, does not get you new patients in your clinic. Marketing does not make lifetime patients. Sales does that. And sales happens inside your clinic. Marketing takes a passion and it gets it distributed. And all it does, are you ready for this? It creates interest. And done ideally, it creates enough interest to get a person not to become a patient, not to believe in chiropractic, not even to believe in you, but to want to know more. And to want to know enough to at least get them to arrive in your office. And therein is where my specialty lies. I am a specialist in getting people across your threshold, not in creating new patients. That's up to you. Do you know what? You, when I say you, I'm talking about a collective average, are 80% effective at closing new patient cases in your office. 80% on the average is what I hear. 80% effective. When I ask a chiropractor, what's your closing rate? 80% is the most popular answer. Do you want to know what those of you who suck report? 50%, which is still awesome. Think about it. Those of you who think you absolutely suck at closing treatment plans, say you close 50% of the cases who sit in front of you. That ain't bad. So your problem is not in doing sales. Now, beyond that, I'm with you. If your argument is, look, I can close them, but I can't retain them, absolutely. And you know what? I'm not going to claim that's my specialty either. My specialty is in getting people interested enough to want to know more, enough to cross your threshold. And that is the purpose of marketing. And that's all marketing. Screenings, talks, advertising, Groupon. You name the promotional thing you're trying to do. Dinner talks. All you're trying to do is get people to arrive in your clinic. That's it. And that is my specialty. However, my specialty means nothing in the face of no passion. My specialty is a waste of time and money in the face of no passion. My specialty isn't worth a damn in the face of no passion. That's what we're talking about here. Real passion fuels marketing. You want to know how to, or the best way to, lessen or eliminate no-shows. Check your freaking purpose. Really look at your passion. Are you passionate? And is 100% of that passion coming out in every talk you give, in every conversation you have, in every consult you do, in every screening you do, or every newsletter you have, every social media post you do? Does your real passion come through? And if it does, you have a marketing program that's going to create interest and create arrivals in your office. They will make that appointment with you because they want to know more about it. Now, there's more to it than that. You need to only time release information to people, because for them to be even more interested enough to show up in your office, there has to be more to find out. And most of you are blowing it all in the enlightenment outside without leaving any morsels or tidbits. You know what a spoiler is? Spoiler alert. What are they spoiling? They're spoiling interest. That's what a spoiler is. You tell people the end to Harry Potter, and guess what? People don't go buy the last book because you spoiled their interest. You spoiled the ending, and now book sales go down. You spoiled the movie ending, and now ticket sales at the box office plummet. And guess what? You tell the whole story and you give a spoiler in your profession, and people don't show for their appointment, or they don't make one at all. You want people to make appointments, you need to enlighten them only so much. And that's where my expertise comes in. That's where the true screening process comes in, and what I call the lifetime patient ladder comes in. Those are things that I teach in my coaching, online courses, webinars, and so on. But none of that is worth anything, and I would never even think of selling you on that, studying any of that, or even discussing it with me in the absence of passion, because without passion, none of those tools mean anything. Because all you're doing with those tools is you're trying to get people to book an appointment, or try to at least get them to want more information in the absence of any passion on your part. And when passion goes out, there goes your confidence, and there goes people's confidence in you. Your passion has to be there every single minute of every single day. Even when you're sitting home at night eating dinner with your family or your friends, you have to feel that passion inside you, even when you're at rest, when you're not at the office. But my question is this: when are you not thinking about helping people? And you might answer that. You might have an answer. You say, well, on Sundays I don't think of it, and when I'm on family vacation I don't think of it. But I'm more asking, what are you doing not thinking about it? If it's something you're really passionate about, then you should be thinking about it 24/7. Let me tell you something about myself that you may or may not know. And I think it becomes clear if you've listened to me talk through my podcasts, through my articles, through my videos, my coaching, online courses, all that stuff. Let me tell you one thing you probably already have figured out about me. 24/7 describes me. 24/7, 365. I am thinking about this subject. I am thinking of more ways to get through to you, to bring that passion out from you. I'm thinking of more ideas. I'm thinking of my next 3 ebooks, my next 20 podcast episodes, the next products that I want to hook up with that are out there that I know will help you expand your practice, that I want to forward and promote and get you to use. All of those things, 24/7. I never stop. And guess what? No one ever complains about it. People admire the passion that I have. They love to talk about it. It's a great topic of conversation. What else are you going to talk about? The Walking Dead? I mean, how much can we talk about television and what happened on, I don't even know what's on TV anymore. So talk about your passion, live your passion, have it part of you 24/7, and you will create a life around that passion. And you will find that you're only with people, and people are only with you who are on board with what you do, and you'll be a much happier person as a result. And as a much happier, more passionate, more on purpose person, you're going to attract more like-minded people, and some people who didn't even know they were like-minded, especially getting inspired those people that you know you can help who desperately need your help, but don't yet know it. And that's my message here to you today. My message here to you today is to get passionate about something and clearly define it. before you get into any marketing, and then market that. Now for the last word. Who gets the last word? I do. After all, it's my show. What should you take away from today's episode? If anything, I hope that you take away one thing. If you have your passion in order and ignited, totally burning inside you, you will be able to clearly define it, and you will be able to have success in marketing with the least of marketing tools. I promise you and assure you of that. And that you shouldn't believe me, you should pause this podcast or take notes on this podcast or listen to it 10 times, but then really take a look for yourself at it. And if you can see how it works, you will know what I know. And you'll not only believe it to be true, but it will work. You will have people who see it in you and resonate with it and gravitate toward you. And you will have a prosperous, growing practice of people that you really want to treat. Get that purpose going in a big way and live your passion 24/7 in every area of your life, and it will never, ever do you wrong. If you're not already subscribed to the show, you can subscribe by going to chiropracticmarketingadvice.com/podcast, and you will see all the different ways you can subscribe from your phones and devices. Listen to this podcast. Listen to me from the road and from the studio. On my podcast, Will Work for Patients. It's very carefully named, folks, because I will work for patients. So ask yourself, will you? So, my friends, we come to the end of our first On the Road episode. I'm so excited to be here on the road with you. On behalf of myself, my crew, our sponsors, I thank you so very much for tuning in, and we'll see you soon for another pedal to the metal episode of Will Work for Patients. So long.
Be sure to subscribe and share. Will Work for Patients has been brought to you courtesy of Screening Experts, bringing unscripted simplicity to chiropractic marketing complexity. Today's episode, copyright Screening Experts LLC, musical score composed and arranged by Frank Sardella ASCAP. For more information, visit screeningexperts.com.